Much needed resources are available this week for Mexican nationals living here in East Texas, as the General Consulate of Mexico out of Dallas brings their mobile consulate on wheels to the Henderson Civic Center. KLTV 7's Nomi Sanchez has more tonight on how it's already helping.
Jesus, a Tyler resident, had been trying to get his Mexican passport at the Consulate of Mexico in Dallas for some time. However, distance was always an obstacle.
Sometimes you have to ask for a ride, and if there is no one to take you, then you just cannot get there.
And for Maria, although distance was not a problem, finding open appointments were hard to come by.
Because we had been calling and there were no appointments available.
This week, both were able to finally reach the services they needed through a Consulate on Wheels event here in Henderson, aimed at making more appointments available for Mexican nationals outside the Dallas area.
We are trying to reach the community that does not necessarily have the means to come to Dallas as easily.
This program travels weekly to different venues, offering three main services: the issuing of Mexican passports, consular ID cards, and IDs to vote in Mexico. According to the consulate spokesperson, more than 250 people have been helped daily in Henderson.
Our main objective is to be here to link with the Mexican community living here in Texas, in our case, but also with the U.S. government, with the local authorities, and with the county authorities.
And for people like Jesus, being able to get access to basic documentation makes a difference.
Yes, it benefits a lot in the sense that there are still many who don't have the means of transportation to go to Dallas.
This is Nomi Sanchez reporting for KLTV 7 News.
And the consulate will be in Henderson until Friday, with appointments still available for tomorrow. Now, these services are also coming to cities like Nacogdoches, Palestine, and the city of Tyler. To find locations or book an appointment, scan the code on your screen or click on the big red box at kltv.com.